Toyota Highlander and thinking, we need just a little more space and I'd like just a few more luxuries? Well, the Grand Highlander, which is brand new from Toyota, has the answer for you. And that is because it is longer, it's larger, it has more passenger capacity, it has more cargo capacity, and even at the base model, it has a lot of luxuries standard. This car is going to have Lexus shoppers as well as shoppers of other luxury three-row SUVs turning their heads towards Toyota. The Grand Highlander has an all-new face. It looks very fresh and new compared to the Highlander. It also is over 200 inches long. That's about 4.5 inches longer than the Highlander. And you'll notice it's also a lot taller. So it has these roof rails here, and it has a nice height. And then back here, it has all new details that are distinct, including its name spelled out here along the lift gate. And this is how you know this is the Grand Highlander. All that extra length means not just more passenger space, but more cargo space. So in the rear end of the Grand Highlander, behind the third row, there's now 20 cubic feet of cargo space. Before there was 16, so that's 4 more, but that's actually quite a lot more cargo space. It also gives you this nice area for tailgating, for strollers, or whatever it is you need. Toyota says you can fit 7 rollaboard bags back here, which is ambitious, but I'm sure they can do it. And then if you want to fold these seats down, you'll get additional space, in all about 90 cubic feet of cargo space in the Grand Highlander. Don't you love this interior? This is called Portobello, and it's this very soft brown color with cream-colored piping and stripes in the center of the seats. And Toyota's not always known for doing leather. They're known for Softex, which in many of their models is the top trim. Softex is actually the base model trim in the Grand Highlander. So whether you choose the base model or the top of the line Platinum, you either get Softex or you get actual leather, which is really nice. It's a very nice luxury. From there, I want you to notice some of the details. The interior brings in some of the things that we do know and love about the Highlander, like this little shelf here. But instead of being a wide shelf, it's a little smaller, it's a little more demure here, but it still fits a phone, it still fits, you know, some nice things there. There is a USB-C port in there. There's a USB-C port here and one here. So lots of places to plug in a phone or a device. Another standard feature that I really love is this wireless phone charger right here in the center console, and then there's room for another phone over here. So you've got plenty of spaces to put things here in the center console. There's a nice sort of wrist-sized gear selector here. You have all your key functions here in the command center, including your drive modes. So rock, mud, sand, sport, and eco are right here. And then we've got snow mode and downhill descent control. So even though this is an all-wheel drive, not a four-wheel drive, there's a lot of capability in the all-wheel drive version of the Grand Highlander. There are 3 cup holders here, not 1, not 2, but 3, and one is quite large. Again, a sports bottle will fit nicely in there. There is a roll top space in here. I want you to see, so here's my elbow, and that's how deep that is. I'm going to throw a photo in here so you can see what this looks like. But you could actually fit a handbag or a laptop or something in here. It's deceiving because the opening is quite small. It's quite narrow. The space in here is humongous. You might lose things in there, so bring a flashlight or use your flashlight. Some other things that you'll notice here, the controls that we're used to seeing on the Toyota Highlander on the steering wheel are here. We have enhanced TSS, or Toyota Safety Sense systems, driver assistance safety systems, and many of those controls are here and they're here. And you'll also see them on the driver information screen, and you'll see them in the head-up display. And this system for the Grand Highlander is actually enhanced to help you drive even a little bit more with some braking on curves and things like that to take even more of the stress out of the drive experience. One of the other things that makes this car really luxurious is head-up display. And this will give you directions. If you're using the in-car navigation, you can see these two lines over here. Let's see if I can point them out to you. Those two lines there, that shows you which Toyota Safety Sense systems are at work. So the driver assistance safety systems, it'll show you which ones are working. It also shows you your speed, it shows you the gear you're in, and when you're out on the street, it'll show you street signs. I want to show you this though too. A really beautiful panoramic sunroof, really nice panoramic sunroof. And it extends almost to the third row, not quite, but almost to the third row. But it will fill the cabin with lots of beautiful natural light and give everybody a nice view as they're looking out the windows and out of the, getting light from the ceiling. On the center console here, there are air vents, climate control is here, and then this is Toyota's new multimedia system. So you'll see the same system in many of their other new or redesigned vehicles, and we see this here, and it has things like the voice-activated assistance. So all you do is say, "Hey Toyota." It may not work in our demo model, but you say, "Hey Toyota," and the system the assistant asks what she can do for you. You also have the option of a navigation subscription that keeps your navigation updated and hard-loaded. It actually downloads a hard version of navigation with regular over-the-air updates. So you're never stuck with outdated maps or a lack of a cell phone signal to get your navigation. You always have navigation. And then you'll also see there are a lot of great features here, including you're able to use, and this is another standard feature, the digital key. So you'll be able to download a key to your phone and then be able to unlock, start, drive, lock, and walk away only using your phone. The digital key app will also allow you to pass that key to somebody else. So you want to let your teenage daughter take the car, all you have to do is allow the key on your digital key, and once she has downloaded the app and signed in, she's able to drive with that key. And then you can also take it away from her, which is a nice thing. So I love that the digital key is standard in the Toyota Grand Highlander. So there are a lot of little places to put things. You can put something quite large in the center console. My little bag fits in there, but I could actually get quite a nice size handbag in there. There is this shelf here where you could put something. It's not huge, but my little cosmetic pouch almost fits in there. If I needed to stick it there just so it doesn't roll around or fall on the floor, that's a great option. And then there's a little shelf here as well, and a little pouch or a wallet or something small can tuck in there as well, which is a nice thing to have. There are 3 different powertrain versions or engine versions of the Grand Highlander. There is a 4-cylinder turbo. There is a hybrid version of the Grand Highlander. It gets about 36 miles per gallon. That's the estimate. It's the same engine that you find in the Toyota Highlander hybrid. And then there is the Hybrid Max version. And this is Toyota's new hybrid technology, which pairs fuel-efficient hybrid with the power, the additional power that an electrified hybrid system adds to the performance of the engine. So it'll be a little faster, it has more horsepower, it's about 360-ish horsepower. So it's gonna be faster and it's gonna be a lot more fun, and it will probably allow you to put the paddle shifters to work. So the big news in the Grand Highlander starts right here in the center row and also in the third row. And that is, there's a lot of leg room. You can get center row captain's chairs, or you can get a bench. If you get captain's chairs, you get fold down armrests and you get cup holders right here in the middle, but cup holders that are low so you can cross through over them as the pass through. So let's talk about these seats. The 2 center row outboard seats have child passenger latches here, and there are latches on the back. There are 2 sets of latches. There's 1 set of latches in the third row and 2 anchors on the backs of the third row seats. So let's talk about how these seats configure. So there's a tab here on the shoulder that you can pull to slide and tilt. You can slide and tilt these seats with a child passenger car seat installed, as long as it's facing forward and using the latches. Then, to move the seat back, you pull this little tab on the side and it moves back, and you can pull this little tab on the side. You pull the handle here and another tab, and that's how you fold the seat flat. Now, these are high flat seats. They don't fold into the floor. This is an SUV, but it does give you this flat storage with the rear seats folded flat to give you all the cargo space that you need. About 90 cubic feet of cargo space with all the seats folded flat, which is pretty insane for a 3-row SUV. Now let's take a look at how the seats are to sit in. So allow me to demonstrate. So this is set for my driving position. I'm 5'8". I have a ton of legroom. I have to say I love how much legroom there is here. And I can cross my legs. I have an almost flat floor here. And then with the armrest down, it's really comfortable. The cup holder is here, and I have all of my seating controls here. I have air vents here in the ceiling, and then I have USB ports. There are 2 USB ports there, and there are USB ports in the front and USB ports for the 3rd row passengers. So in all, there's, I believe, 7 USB ports plus a wireless charge pad, and all of that is standard, which is amazing. Now, let's check out the 3rd row. So this time, I'm going to use the pass-through. And it was pretty easy to get back here with both seats, with the seats not moving. Now, I will say, I don't have a ton of legroom. It's okay, but I do have good headroom. I'm 5'8", and I've got plenty of headroom here. My head is not close to hitting the ceiling. I really love this. Now, if you compare this to something like a Sequoia, which is a larger, true 4-wheel drive, you have much more legroom because the floor is lower in this car than it is in the Sequoia because of that 4-wheel drive mechanism under the rear of the car. That is the benefit of an all-wheel drive crossover versus a true 4-wheel drive SUV. We have windows here. We have USB ports on either side here, and 2 very large cup holders that'll hold a phone or something like that here on the side. All in all, it's pretty impressive. Here's the middle seat. You could fit easily 3 kids back here, and they will have no problem getting into the 3rd row in the Grand Highlander. Let's see how this does. Sliding the seat forward. So if you are the 3rd row passenger, you can slide the seat forward and then carefully climb out. Try not to destroy the car. So in the rear seat, there are USB ports for rear seat passengers. Really large cup holders. You could fit like 2 really large sports bottles, plus a phone, plus a bunch of other junk. You know, half-eaten lollipops, a few snacks, a nearly empty but not quite juice box, something like that. Oh, and then notice here there's a handhold. So you can grab this to hoist yourself into the 3rd row of the Toyota Grand Highlander, which I'm not going to use it because it was easier for me to use just holding on to that. But it's nice that they added this as an option. I do want to mention though, the seats in the 3rd row sit nice and high, and so do the seats in the 2nd row. And what that means is that 2nd row and 3rd row passengers are less likely to get car sick because of the height of those seats. So they have nice leg extension, they have nice hip room, and they have nice space for sitting and relaxing. They're also able to see, and they're not going to feel car sick even in the 3rd row, which is truly a bonus. The Grand Highlander from Toyota is much needed in this space. It gives us the all-wheel drive capability that we need. It gives us passenger seating for 7 or 8, and lots of comforts and luxuries that keep everyone happy. And with 2 hybrid versions, it means that you don't have to go to the gas station pretty much every other day. I can't wait to drive this one, which will be soon. So follow along on YouTube and follow us on social media. We're going to be taking this out on the road really soon.